Hey there and welcome, gentlemen. I'm Coach Carl, founder of Warrior Dad. If you're watching this video and you've received the PDF, it's because somebody who's participating in my Warrior Dad training has sent it to you and probably believes on some level you'd be a really great candidate, if not at least very interested in what Warrior Dad's really about. You know, I've been on the coaching journey for 20 years. I started this business in my truck in La Jolla, California, and been doing it ever since. And along this journey, it came with a lot of challenges. I've ridden some of the highest highs and highest lows of my life, from, divorce, business breakups, daily challenges, custody battles, you name it. And finally arriving at a place where I'm better off emotionally, physically, as a father, as a parent, as a husband, and as a business owner. And navigating through that has always been challenging. Most men were never really taught how do we navigate through all these domains in our life. And some of those challenges, maybe some of them are relatable to you that you're currently experiencing. Like, you want to grow your business, but you don't want to risk family time. You want a better body, but you run out of motivation during the day or something else comes up. You want to be more present to your kids and you find yourself feeling guilty when you're not. You're missing soccer games or sporting events or education, and yet you keep avoiding those things and going deeper into business. Some of you want more intimacy and connection with your wife, but something seems to get in the way. But at the end of the day, we really are grinding our days, doing lots of stuff, going through the consistent motions, trying to get there, whatever that looks like for you. And we continue to try to keep our soul lit. And what's really happening is that we're going through all these emotions, trying to get to this place of freedom, but we're not really feeling alive or satisfied or fulfilled. And that's the question I really want you to ask yourself. You're doing life really well, like most achievers, but are you feeling really alive and satisfied and fulfilled with what you're up to? And if you're not, let's continue on, because I want to show you something on the whiteboard that I think will have a profound difference in your life and your family and with your kids. One of the things that impacts masculinity the most is what I call this vicious cycle of doing all these things, the stuff, the projects, the to-do lists, while trying to experience freedom at the same time. And I want to give you a diagram of what this vicious cycle looks like. We're constantly in this battle of getting the stuff done and clearing things off our plate so that we can get to what we really want, which is this thing called freedom, because that's really what we stand for. And a lot of times what happens is we push away and we delay so much of our life, family, parenting, kids, sexuality, our body, trying to get this. We end up living for this in order to get here, and that day doesn't come, and we have to break free of that cycle. But what I'm telling you is that's the old paradigm. That's an old story of what man should be, do, and have, and how it should be done. What if I told you you could reverse engineer that? So you're operating from a place of aliveness, satisfaction, fulfillment, and you're producing more with a lot more simplicity and ease. So that throughout this journey, you're expanding your masculinity and you're receiving the rewards throughout the process. That's what's possible for you. And Warrior Dad is really about unpacking all that stuff, getting on a real clear path that's principle, values driven, but you're coming alive in such a way that you love what you're doing and you're not waiting for some day to experience all those rewards. And every man that I've met over the past 20 years, every one of them has something inside of them that's just waiting to erupt, to come alive in a much more profound way than you may be experiencing right now. Whether it's some vision or purpose or opportunity to become that family man or that father that you're destined to become, but you put yourself in one or two domains so much that you rob yourself of that experience. One of the things that I tell men consistently is you holding back any part of you in any domain of your life robs you of experiencing your purpose and your destiny. But it also robs your kids and your family from experiencing dad at his best. So I want to share with you the 3 types of men that attend Warrior Dad. So most men that attend Warrior Dads are single dads, married dads, divorced dads, entrepreneurs, business owners, or upper level executives. And if we break down the three guys, you'll be able to identify with at least one of them. The first guy is, we call it the making it happen guy. And he's in the beginning phases of building his legacy, but he's really trying to figure out how to make it all work. How to be there as a dad, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner, and expand and grow while not feeling stretched, burned out, or tired. But his biggest challenge here is he's driven by fear, and his fear is, well, what if I don't make it and fail? And he's living in the stress or worry mode. And that can all be transformed. Every guy starts in this place. The second guy is who we call, he's made it happen. And what I mean by that is he's got 1 to 2 areas that he's really successful in. And usually it's business. And he's the guy that often, when he gets stressed or worried that his kids need him, family needs him, he needs to take time for his body, there's stress somewhere in there, he avoids those because he doesn't know how to relate to it or what to do with it, and he fuels himself in business mode because that's where he's winning. That's where he feels like the man the most. And he doesn't quite feel that in other domains. So he's struggling a little bit. He's kind of stuck with, well, what do I do, and how do I make every domain of my life work and click together? The third guy is what we call the what now. He's sort of surpassed these two gentlemen, and he's got many areas of his life working. He's pretty happy, he's comfortable, but yet there's something else inside of him that wants to come out. There's another dimension, another way to up-level, a transition. The truth is, he's not totally happy, but he also doesn't have a whole lot of needs. He's financially successful, his wife and kids are doing well, but something's missing for him. So what I'm going to tell with you is this. If you want to make a profound difference, if you want to play a bigger game and step into a new domain where all of you is being called forward and you're touch moving and inspiring your wife, your kids, your community, and play a bigger game that leaves you a legacy, not just in material form, but because of who you are and how you show up, and you no longer want the circumstances and the conditions running you, but live by choice, then I want you to seriously consider attending Warrior Dad. You know, if you really listen to the struggles and challenges of most men, they're almost all similar. And it's some level of difficulty around time, energy, and money. And what I mean by that is, for some of us, we don't have enough, we're lacking in them. Or for some of you guys, you have so much you can't figure out how to balance it all. The nuts and bolts of Warrior Dad is about living in those 5 domains that matter most to men. And I start with this domain, is our masculinity. And what I mean by that is your character, your purpose, and your values. Because when you operate from this place, all the other domains start to function. Look, masculinity leads, and when he's leading authentically, all those other domains start to expand and grow, and you start to have a richer, deeper experience in your life. The second domain we focus on is fatherhood. And what I mean by that is you being able to balance your masculine and your feminine energy and have a vision so that things around you start to work according to your vision, and the people around you start to develop, and your kids start to grow, and your wife starts to relax into her feminine energy. The third domain that we focus on is family. And that means you leading with a vision and creating a team in your family so that everyone is starting to benefit and work together. The next domain is your business. And for most men, this financial freedom and the ability to leverage is what makes you feel safe enough, have more time and energy to bring back what really matters. And what really matters are these things. But when your business is cranking and systematized, you feel a lot safer being able to allocate more time and energy to everything else. But what makes all that happen is what we call balance. And balance just simply means your ability to represent and honor your values in each of these domains, to have a balance between masculine and feminine energy, to put an end to what men struggle with most, and that's trying to please everybody, trying to be everywhere and do everything, wear all these hats that just leads to burnout and exhaustion, instead of you coming alive and feeling satisfied and fulfilled with who you are and what you're up to. I call it the flow. When Warrior Dad gets into the flow, everything around him starts to become simple. It starts to have more ease in your life. And you're constantly in this place of love and joy, because now you know how to generate that. One of the biggest things Warrior Dad does is shows men how to create it, how to show up in a way that's more aligned with your vision so that the vision consistently expands. You're really here to expand. And we talk about the 5 Warrior Dad habits at the immersion training, but when you have the 5 Warrior Dad habits, call it 5WD, you're going to learn how to make all these domains start to come together naturally and nicely, so you're experiencing more productivity and expansion in these areas, so that your soul is constantly lit, as opposed to trying to get everything done so that you can enjoy your life. So we're about 7 weeks away from our next Warrior Dad immersion coming up in November. It's in California, next to a famous lake called Lake Big Bear. It's on 36 acres of private land, me and you for 5 days, and a team of brothers. And I got to tell you, this program is meant to be a training. It's very practical. We're going to be in constant Warrior Dad mode, not lecture mode where you're going to learn a bunch of stuff and probably never use again. I mean, Warrior Dad for most is a top 10 life experience. It's not a one-time event. You're going to continue to expand and grow and utilize this and step into that identity called Warrior Dad. I want to give you your next steps right now. The gentleman who introduced you, let him know you want to speak with me. He will do a text message introduction or email or even a phone call. And you and I can talk about what's possible. Let's have an open, real conversation about what's possible, what's occurring in your life, and what's that vision that's speaking to you. What changes do you really want to make? And I'll tell you straight up if this is going to benefit you and how or not. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to learn more about Warrior Dad. It's probably one of the most amazing things that I've done over 20 years that I've created, and I'm going to spend the next 20 years of my life just doing this, because I've seen the impact that it's had on dads, single dads, divorced dads, married men who really want to come alive in a whole new way. So thank you for watching. I look forward to speaking with you.